What is the 5, 10, and 20-year rule? What do they mean? How does it work? And how can they impact your disability rating veterans? Thank you for stopping by, tuning in with me today. We're going to talk about VA rating, reevaluations, and protections, understanding the 5, 10, and 20-year rules, the VA reevaluation processes and notifications, and responding to a proposed VA rating reduction. I hope that's not you, but if it is, I'm going to give you some options and what you can do to help fight that, okay? So the VA disability 5-year rule, it allows the VA, the Department of Veterans Affairs, to reevaluate your existing VA disability rating within 5 years of your initial examination, but only if your disability condition is expected to show material improvement over time. The key points of the 5-year VA rule are this: the VA can schedule a routine future examination within the first 5 years if medical evidence suggests that your condition may improve. If your condition hasn't materially improved over this 5-year period, the VA is unlikely to request another reexamination, right? Unless you submit in another claim, it can open up a can of worms. If it goes to the wrong rater, then they can start looking at and poking around a little bit some of your claims in your file, okay? The VA can still reevaluate your rating beyond 5 years. It's very important to know that if they have compelling medical evidence that shows significant improvement in your disability. So, what are some exceptions to the VA 5-year rule? There are two major exceptions where the VA cannot reevaluate your rating under the 5-year rule: permanent and total ratings. If you have been granted a permanent and total rating, your condition is not expected to improve, and the VA cannot schedule a future examination. Some disabilities that are not expected to improve: if a condition is deemed permanent and total, loss of a limb, paralysis, or chronic progressive illness, the VA will not require future exams or reevaluations. So, let me give you an example of the 5-year rule kind of in action. You were granted a 30% rating for, let's call it IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, 3 years ago. Since IBS is not a static condition, the VA may schedule a routine future examination, or for something like GERD, that's not a static condition, before the 5-year mark to assess whether your condition has improved or if it has worsened. Let's talk about the VA disability 10-year rule. The VA 10-year rule states that the VA cannot eliminate a disability rating that has been in place for at least 10 years. After 10 years, the VA cannot sever service connection for disability unless fraud was involved in the original rating. However, the VA can still reduce your rating if medical evidence shows significant improvement in your condition. So, some exceptions to the VA 10-year rule: fraud, permanent and total ratings, conditions are deemed permanent. Fraud: if the VA determines that your original rating was based on fraudulent information, it can be eliminated regardless of the 10-year rule, right? If you have a P&T rating, permanent and total rating, your rating is protected and cannot be eliminated or reduced, okay? Cannot be unless there's like significant evidence. So it doesn't mean it's completely permanent. If things have significantly improved and the VA can prove that, then it could there could be a potential of a reevaluation. And then conditions deemed permanent: if your disability, whatever condition it is or disabilities are deemed chronic and not expected to improve, the VA is unlikely to reevaluate or reduce your rating. So let's say you've had a 70% PTSD rating for, let's say, 12 years. The VA cannot eliminate the service connection, but if medical evidence shows material improvement, they could reduce your rating from 70 to, let's say, 50%. Okay. Let's talk about the VA disability 20-year rule. The VA 20-year rule provides even stronger protections by stating that if a VA rating has been in effect for 20 years or more, the VA cannot reduce it below the lowest rating it has held during that period, right? If a veteran has maintained a disability rating for 20 years, the VA cannot reduce it below the lowest rating held in that period, except in cases of fraud. Even if medical evidence suggests improvement, the VA must maintain at least the lowest rating from the past 20 years. So 3 exceptions exist: fraud, permanent and total ratings, chronic, permanent disabilities. Okay. So again, if it was based on fraud, they could eliminate and reduce the rating. P&T ratings are completely protected. And if the condition has been deemed permanent and static, the VA cannot reevaluate it. So let's say you've had a 50% rating for migraine headaches for over 20 years, but let's say 10 years ago, the VA reduced it to 30%. Under the 20-year rule, even if your migraines improve, the VA cannot reduce your rating below 30%. Okay. So some VA disability ratings are considered protected and are not subject to routine evaluations, including static disabilities. That means conditions that are deemed permanent and not likely to improve, such as paralysis or amputations. Permanent P&T ratings, VA ratings in effect for 10 years, for 20 years, veterans over age 55, 100% VA ratings, and scheduler minimum ratings. Okay, disabilities assigned a minimum percentage rating under the VA diagnostic code system, which is usually 10% or less. Okay, the VA reevaluates disability ratings because not all service connected disabilities are considered permanent. That's why they do that. If a condition is expected to improve, meaning not static over time, the VA has the authority to review and adjust the rating accordingly. However, veterans with a PNT, permanent and total rating, or conditions deemed unchangeable, such as limb loss, are generally exempt from the reevaluation. And additionally, under the 10-year rule, the VA cannot eliminate a rating that has been in place for 10 years or more, though it can still be reduced if medical evidence shows significant improvement. So you need to be prepared. Some things: when will the VA reevaluate your rating? If your disability is expected to improve, the VA may schedule a reevaluation within 2 to 5 years of your initial exam. How will they notify you? They will notify you by mail and schedule a compensation and pension exam to assess the frequency, severity, and duration of your symptoms and how they impact your work, life, and social functioning. If you do get that letter, hey, give us a buzz. We can help you. How do you combat that? With medical evidence showing no change. And also, you could combat that with an outside medical opinion as well. A doctor's note. If you do need a Nexus letter, DBQ, or anything like that, look in the description of this video. There are honest, integral doctors in the description of this video: Dr. Lopez, Dr. Sharma, and so on. They will help you. If they can't help you, they won't, but they're very fair. They're very thorough. They're very knowledgeable in this area. Okay. If the VA proposes a rating, right? To do that, you have 60 days to respond. Make sure you respond. To challenge the reduction, you must provide, again, medical evidence proving your condition has not improved. So the VA's 5, 10, and 20-year rules are critical protections that ensure you, the veteran, don't unfairly lose your benefits. However, if the VA attempts to reduce or eliminate your rating, you must act quickly. If you do need help, reach out to us, info@veteransclaimservice.com. We are here to guide you and give you the education that you need, and point you in the right direction so that you stay protected. Thank you for tuning into this video. Thank you for your service to our country. I am a veteran serving veterans. We appreciate you. We hope that this video has helped you. Like, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, share this video out with a fellow veteran that can use this information. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.